Hello everybody out there, William Jordan here. So as you can see from the title, something changed, something happened that made me change my mind on Bitcoin, and the reason why I think Bitcoin today is more of a viable investment strategy and something that should be looked into to add to any portfolio. Now, before we get into all this, remember, just because I say something is a good strategy which should be added to your portfolio doesn't mean you go out there and buy up all the Bitcoin. First of all, leave some for me. And secondly, don't put all your eggs in one basket. You're never 100% protected from drops, from crashes, something like that. So that being said, I'm not the best financial analyst, best strategist out there for portfolios, but I do think I hold my own when it comes to that. So let's get into it, and let me explain first of all my history with Bitcoin a bit. A couple of years ago, many years ago, I first got floated the idea of Bitcoin. It was over a meal with someone. I was talking about investments and stocks and bonds, etc. And he just, why don't you buy Bitcoin? It's only $3 per coin. Yes, it is painful to say that. There was a time when it was that low. Damn. Anyway, I just let the idea float past me because I've never heard of any cryptocurrency at the time. I didn't think much of it, and the idea just went in one ear, out the other, and I didn't think further on it. Now, fast forward a couple of months, actually just over a year later, another person actually offered me a job to become a Bitcoin miner at $23 per coin, and I refused. Now, that actually got me thinking at the time, and I did some research into Bitcoin before giving him my answer. And I think my research at the time was sound, but, sometimes things just don't turn out the way you wish. So, for me, the whole cryptocurrency fad, the thing that was going on was stupid. There was 127 cryptocurrencies at the time. There was Litecoin, a couple of others. Anyway, Bitcoin, for me, it wasn't tangible. It wasn't good enough. There was nothing backing it. If ever there comes a crash in Bitcoin, there's nothing to protect you from it. You cannot earn your money back if Bitcoin was to crash. And since there's no company behind it I could study up on, nothing like that, I just told the guy, for me, this is not a sound investment. I do not want to go into Bitcoin anyway if it's mining, buying, nothing. I just don't think Bitcoin is the future of money. Now, don't get me wrong. I always thought cryptocurrency is the future of money. But like I always said, give me crypto euros or crypto dollars and I will buy it. But Bitcoin wasn't it for me. There was a lot of problems with Bitcoin transactions, the costs involved. There's no transactional cost, but you could buy something for much more expensive than if you were to buy it in cash. And not many companies were using Bitcoin at the time where you could buy stuff with Bitcoin. So for me, it was a stupid idea. Now, I actually did invest in Bitcoin at some point in my life. I actually shorted Bitcoin just above $1,000 per coin, if I can remember well. Bitcoin wasn't traded on the financial markets yet, but somebody set up a platform where we could trade Bitcoin just for a day to see how it goes, talk about it, stuff like that. And I shorted Bitcoin, and 40 minutes later, I was out of my position and I had made $600 off of my investment in Bitcoin, my short position. And that was the last time I touched anything crypto related, and I didn't think about it twice. Now, I do get the news about Bitcoin every so often, and I do look it up every now and again. But up till about a week ago, I didn't think much of any cryptocurrency. I thought less of Bitcoin than Ripple and Ethereum, which I didn't think of much anyway. But then, the other day I was scouring the internet on Reddit, and there was a question that came up that said, if you could travel back in time 10 years, what would you tell your younger self? Now, many people out there were like giving their younger self some philosophical, mind-boggling thoughts. Some of them were telling them that, stay close to your family because they might not be there for much longer. Some of them put more effort into this. Some of them enjoy your life more. And I just put it out there as a joke, I would tell my younger self, buy Bitcoin, because I know what the price of Bitcoin was 10 years ago, and I know how much money I had set aside in my savings account, etc. And if I could tell my younger self to buy Bitcoin at the time, put all my savings into Bitcoin, I would be a multi-billionaire today and not be making this video probably. But anyway, yeah. And I just said it out there as a joke. And I got a couple of responses back as to why that would actually be a really good advice I would give my younger self. And that got me thinking and got me into some research on Bitcoin today. So what did I learn over the past 2 days? Well, research has shown that the traditional way of investing was the 60-40 rule, okay? For those of you who don't know about it, let me break it down. 60% of your portfolio should be in stocks and 40% in bonds. That might not be the best way to invest anymore because Bitcoin, which just hit $61,000 as of the time of me making this video, is actually a really interesting commodity you could be adding to any investment portfolio today. Now, the 60-40 investment strategy basically states that 60% of your portfolio should be in stocks, which would give you some major gains during bull markets, and 40% of your portfolio should be in bonds, which in turn will cover some of your losses during market drops or during recessions. This strategy, of course, could be tweaked. A lot of you out there know me. I'm more of a 70%, 30% guy, or even 70%, 20%, 10%, depending on the 10% investment. There's other investments out there apart from stocks and bonds, but that could be tweaked. Now, this strategy basically states that if you follow the 60-40 rule and you put in enough money on it, you could go the rest of your life without working any single day, because during bull markets, your stocks will give you enough money, and during bear markets, your bonds will cover some of your losses in order for you to keep on living without working another day. Now, this strategy actually used to be a really sound strategy because it helps with diversification as well. And it is always better than to put all of your money in a single stock and the price of that stock suddenly drops just before you're in retirement. The 60%, 40% strategy basically took out a lot of risks from the equation. The 60-40 strategy was developed over many years by looking at the best bull markets and the worst crashes and recessions, and basically the strategy would keep you going whatever the market would be throwing at you. Now, the problem with this strategy, of course, was it depended on how and when you invest your money. The 60%, 40% rule worked well for some time because the returns on bonds a couple of years back were much better than they are today. In the 1980s, when the 60%, 40% strategy was at its highest, bonds were paying up to 15% return on your money. And then it started to slowly decline to where it is today, where if today you're lucky, bonds will pay you out just over 1% of your money invested in them. This all means that you don't get the same return from the 60%, 40% strategy today as you would have gotten 40 years ago. Now I hear you asking over the internet with your silent voices, why not just invest all of your money into stocks? You can do that, but it is risky. Remember, planning a good portfolio and getting a good investment strategy is all about risk versus reward and maximizing your return given a certain level of risk. Having a 100% stock portfolio is risky when the market goes down, and sometimes it could take years or even decades for prices to get back to their original levels. Just imagine you having a only stock portfolio when the dot-com bubble crashed, or even in 2008. That could really hurt you, and you will end up losing money at times when you need it the most. That's why historically, given a well-diversified portfolio of stocks and bonds was the better strategy, but that doesn't seem to be the case anymore. Now let's get back to the title of this video. Let's talk Bitcoin, the big B. A lot of experts now say that Bitcoin could soon replace bonds in everyday investment portfolio. As Kathy Wood from ARK Invest put it, fixed income has done 40 years of really hard work. If Bitcoin represents a new asset class, why not invest in it? And I think she actually knows what she's talking about. Many large corporations are now beginning to use Bitcoin as a way of hedging against the US dollar. Recently, Tesla invested 8% of their funds in Bitcoin, amounting to $1.5 billion. Square, PayPal, and MicroStrategy all invested significant amounts into the cryptocurrency and the crypto markets, and a lot are planning to continue to do so for the foreseeable future. One thing you should know about the financial markets, which is actually a really good rule to follow, is when the big guys are doing something, Most of the time, not all of the time, but in general, it is wise to follow their lead. When big companies pull out of something, it should probably tell the smaller guys out there, do not invest in this because the big guys out there don't think they could win money or they cannot make any more money from it. And if they invest in something, you should probably follow suit. You may not get in as quickly as they do, but in general, not always, in general, it is a good lead to follow. Remember when Jamie Dimon from JP Morgan said that Bitcoin is a fraud and that he would actually fire any of their traders buying Bitcoin because it's against their rules and that they are stupid. Now, 3 years later, JP Morgan changed their mind on this, saying that investors could make Bitcoin 1% of their portfolios. So what changed in the last couple of years? In 2016 and 2017, there was a major hype around Bitcoin and the crypto markets in general, where today the hype is more driven by large institutional investors who are buying into it. And they do that as a reserve against the US dollar. This takes the whole speculation side of things out of the equation. Now, what is the reasoning behind these people investing into Bitcoin as a hedge against the US dollar, you might ask? Well, remember, the Fed has been keeping interest rates low this past decade, all while printing more money to stimulate the economy. This gives rise to the expectation that at some point there is going to be some inflation as more people are going to spend their money. This all means that in the future, the US dollar is going to be worth less than it is today. I'll post a video explaining more about inflation in the future, but all of this just means that Bitcoin is a good hedge against cash. There's the fact that the amount of money in circulation has been increasing these last couple of years. Now, a small, steady increase in the money supply, GDP, debt, etc. is totally normal. But in 2020, the increase in the money supply went totally berserk. 20% of all money ever printed in the US happened in 2020. This is a cause of concern for a lot of people who are now looking for other places to put their money, and Bitcoin just happened to be at the right place at the right time. Another factor to take into account is that Bitcoin is an uncorrelated asset for the most part. This just means that it isn't easily influenced by other assets or how well they perform. This independency from everything else allows for a lot more diversification and opportunity. Lastly, people are always looking for safe havens to invest their money, such as bonds, such as gold. And because of the push in mainstream media, Bitcoin now seems the safe go-to investment for a lot of people out there. There is a major benefit in buying Bitcoin because of its adoption over multiple industries. And since it is starting to be considered another asset class, this will actually help the value of Bitcoin stabilize. Now, just remember that a lot of investments out there should be seen as a double-sided sword. What I'm trying to say is that many stocks, especially tech, could have their values tied up too close to Bitcoin, since this is how a lot of these companies are now keeping their reserves. Many believe that because of Tesla's massive investment into Bitcoin, their value is tied to it, meaning if the price in Bitcoin drops, the value of Tesla shares would drop as well. Now, we'll probably have some exposure, all of us, to Bitcoin in the near future, whether we want it or not, since many companies out there are putting their reserves into Bitcoin, and many more companies are probably going to follow suit. So all of this being said, how has my thoughts changed on Bitcoin? Well, I know the advantages of diversification in a portfolio, and taking into account the amount of risk someone wishes to take over the reward in this strategy, I would say there is probably room for Bitcoin in many strategies out there. And I think it could actually be wise for a lot of people to allocate a certain amount of their investments into the cryptocurrency. Now, I don't think bonds should be excluded altogether. I just think that alongside stocks and bonds, a small amount should be invested in Bitcoin to be part of your portfolio overall. Now, I do think that Bitcoin would probably continue going up in price over the years to come, even though more price stability would be good, and I think we will be seeing more price stability in the near future. However, there is always a risk of Bitcoin dropping in price as well. So if you want to use it as a hedge against the dollar, do it. But just remember, do not put all of your savings into Bitcoin. Do not put all of your eggs in one basket, and I think you'll be fine. Thanks a lot for watching. This was William Jordan from Moneymaker Channel. Give me a thumbs up. I would appreciate it. See you guys in